to your home, and in a text here that she's made public, she's accusing you of.
I've been very discreet about it, because of obviously I guess the perception the public will have, rightfully so. I understand that. However, you can't stop people from falling in love. You can't stop people from interacting. I have
anyone that is over a certain age group is an adult.
I know. So I want to know exactly the
if you allow me, I will answer your question.
Okay, thank you.
We're not here to fight. We're not here to war. It's not a war. It's a media gathering.
I think Mr. Jackson's willing to be friend.
That's right.
So we hope to hear from him personally.
Yes. But I think the questions that are coming out is almost like if it's an attack. Answer the question and we will.
We're seeking clarity.
Okay, well, we will give you the clarity.
Okay,
that's why we call it this media scrum. Look, anyone, as he has explained, fall in love. People fall in love, and if the person is a former student, it doesn't preclude you from falling in love with your former student, or a client, or a fellow colleague in the media. Whether that person is 50 years old and the other person is 30 years old or 28, there's no barrier, as far as I know, according to law, for that, to prevent that from happening.
So this is a coincidence that you...
At the time of the relationships began, whether the ladies were at the age of consent.
Yes, they were.
They were, Mr. Jackson?
absolutely.
Those are my instructions.
And they were never under my instruction at the time.
Right.
So how many former students would you have shared a relationship with?
These two young ladies.
Just the two?
Yes.
And if others pop up saying they would have had a relationship with you,
Well, we will deal with it as they come along. The man is here telling you and
As
you
in a personal relationship, intimate relationship.
Yes.
I've had friends, like I said earlier in my statement, many of them have grown up, we have met socially, okay, and that's it.
Mr. Jackson,
question from the back.
many past students say that you would normally behave inappropriately, flirting or whatever the case is, as a teacher. Why would you think that this accusation would be?
Okay,
Let me answer. Madam, you preface your question by many former students, but that's very nebulous. If you say a particular student named Jerome Khan or Jane Smith, it's a different story. But by saying many former students, it's very wide. It's an unfair question to ask.
A particular student.
Yes.
Is this the first time, Mr. Jackson, these allegations?
Absolutely. And I've taught more than 15 years. The very first time, any kind of accusation.
How many schools have you taught?
I've taught many schools.
How many?
I reckon would brought any complaint to my attention, ever.
Mr. Jackson, let's move this process a bit forward. And counsel, please bear with me. What is your current employment status at the moment? And have the Ministry of Education or any other government agency made contact with you? What is it going on right now with you?
Mr. Jackson currently is on a leave of absence. He has asked for a leave of absence in order not to destroy the sanctity of Bishop's High School, because he feels that it would be very, very bad for the school, for the current students, because this is a school that is one of the most outstanding schools in the Caribbean, historically and currently so. And he is away from the school on a leave of absence.
And Mr. Jackson, have you been questioned by any relevant authorities?
No, sir. No, sir.
Neither have you been asked to report any agency?
No, sir. No, sir. And I'd just like to say that I find it really unfortunate and very regrettable the attacks that have been made against the administration of the Bishop's High School. It is so unfortunate. They have absolutely nothing to do with these allegations. Absolutely nothing. It has been horrendous. It has been absolutely unfair. The charges I've heard.
But more importantly is that we are open. Mr. Jackson and his team would be open to any kind of process or procedure that is taking place administratively or otherwise. We're aware of a letter that Mr. Johnson has written, and we would imagine that letter would trigger off certain processes. That is why we are restricted in what we want to say, and we try not to get Mr. Jackson to answer too many more questions, because there is a process that has to take place. What we're here to do today is to say, look, the man is here. He's not escaped from the jurisdiction. All this foolishness about his passport must be seized and all that kind of thing. That's why he's here. He's never left where he was living.
Mr. Jackson, had your discussion, if I can ask, with the head teacher of the school on this issue?
It was brought to my attention.
And then he mentioned it to her. And it's that process he sought leave of absence.
Do you think she should also step aside?
Absolutely
that's not. Look, at the end of the day, we cannot comment about the administration of the school because there's a board of governors that governs that school. And above that board of governors, there's the Ministry of Education. We don't know of any wrongdoing by the headmistress of the school, so why is she being targeted? We don't know of that. We're not seized with that kind of information. And I wish to point out there's processes, there are procedures on how these things are to be done. If there's a problem with the headmistress, there's a process that takes place. Let's understand that. This is not social media and the media crucifying her, crucifying him or others. Let the system, go through the process. I don't know if Council would like to add to anything.
It came to our attention over the past few days. There's been a social media storm. When things like these happen, the allegations, they take a life of their own. And the allegations give rise to new allegations. You have people coming forward saying, oh, I heard this. Oh, this happened to me, all kinds of things. I want the public to be reminded that there are laws against defamation, and libel and slander are things we take very seriously. And we've noticed such acts being committed blatantly on social media by many individuals, but certain individuals constantly go at it hourly. They have a studied campaign against our client. We want them to know that we're monitoring their actions with a view to taking proceedings at a later point.
Just to add to what Council said, Mr. Boucher, in one of the social media posts I saw, Mr. Johnson's called me out, your own can, for failing to mention the word libel or defamation. Well, I respect Mr. Johnson. I think he's a journalist and an educated person and who's been around. And he ought to know that I don't go around wildly making statements. But if the elements of libel and defamation are there, as we have, Council has alluded to, we're watching it, and at the right time that will take place. At the right time. We're not going to telegraph what we're going to do to Mr. Johnson. All we said to him is that respect the administrative procedures that are taking place. You cannot say that you're a high-ranking functionary of the state, of the government, and you have no regard for natural justice. How could you? You cannot be representing the government of Guyana, democratically elected government, and you have no respect for natural justice. So you want to accuse, prosecute, convict, condemn, and sentence in the media without allowing the administrative process to take place. That cannot be fair. That can never be fair. If not, any one of you here, any one of us can be accused and lynched publicly. Lynched publicly. And even if we get off in a court of law, we're finished because the damage is done. And that is what has happened here.
I'd just like to say that I don't see how I could recover from something like this ever, ever, ever. It doesn't matter where I might go in the world. The stain, people always have suspicion of me. Always do. So, I just gotta live with this. It has happened. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
In any sort of police investigation,
we're not aware of any.
No, I'm asking, you said in any sort of police investigation with the allegations, what scope is there for the current friend or partner of Mr. Johnson to be also questioned?
We don't know that. They will have to deal with that. you know, that's a matter for the police.
That's police business.
Right, that's police business. We can't comment on police. Our hands are handcuffed. We've said more than what we intended to say this afternoon.
But Mr. Jackson is more than willing to cooperate with all the authorities of the state in any regard.
Whether it's the police, whether it's the Teaching Service Commission, whether it's the Ministry of Education, whether it's the Chief Education Officer, or any of the list of the ministries that has been listed here by my good friend, Mr. Earl Johnson.
So, Mr. Johnson, this is the end of your teaching career?
I would imagine so. I would imagine so. How can somebody possibly carry on after this?
Anyhow,
Impossible.
thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and immediate thanks for coming out. I know that you have a busy schedule, you're all about the place, and I'm happy you've come to this press conference. And we present to you Mr. Cohen Jackson. Unlike what you have been reading in social media and in the mainstream media,